I know this is a big test that this Colts team they're about to play, and I know we're talking about the offense, having more of a balance and all that stuff. This team is a bottom 10 pass defense. Secondary wise, I know they just traded for Sauce Gardner. Buckner's out; he's on IR, so there's a little problem they have in the little middle of the field there. But they've also had trouble against guarding tight ends. Pretty much every tight end has eaten them alive this year. That bodes well for us with our tight end 2 on our squad. Which and also too, if you look at the last few weeks, you saw Algier and Bijan Robinson, both guys just torched them, dominated them, 50 yards, gashing them. Both those guys kind of dominated them. But for the most part, they've been pretty stout against the run. The secondary has been kind of the weakness for them. When you kind of look at, what you've seen from the Colts, the statistics, just the guys who are going to be out, where do you see us? And I know RPO has been the one thing everyone keeps talking about this week, and you just kind of did a great job explaining that. And I've seen some people say, oh, they're going against Lou Anarumo, who was the former Bengals DC, who's there. They run primarily cover 2 defense. What do you think about how we match up against this Colts defense?
I think we match up well against them. I think they knew they had to go get somebody, and that's why they made that big splash with Sauce Gardner. I mean, that was huge for them to go get a guy like that. And I was like, dang, God, y'all gave it up for Sauce? Okay, I got you. But I tell you, no question, having Big Boy out in the middle, man, that hurts him. That sucker right there is a hoss. He's one of those guys, like, every game, like, okay, you got to watch him. But I think we match up really well against him. I do. What we hopefully go into the game with is, like you said, maybe having a little bit more of a heavier presence in the run game. Okay, a little bit more traps, a little bit more of just go hitting it in the mouth, have somebody leading up to their backers. Our wide receiver group, Marcus, I've told you that. Could go against any defense. We should be fine. We should be fine. Same thing, Travis Kelce, like you said, the tight ends, man, Travis should be able to eat this week. I don't have any problems and issues whatsoever. Big Buck, man, not being there hurts him. Like I said, that's a hoss. So.
Yeah, and they're going to be without him for the next they put him on the IR on November 7th, so he has to at least miss 4 games. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I mean, that's what they won the Falcons game at the bye week, so this is their second game without him. So, I mean, like, it's gonna be tough, and this is gonna be another test to see how they can do without him. And the first game without him, Algier and Bijan, they both tore him up. I mean, Algier had like 11 for like 50 something yards that game. Bijan had like 17 for like 80, I think. So like they are in the middle of that defense. I think there's definitely an opportunity for Kareem to eat this week. And also too, I know Pacheco practiced today. It's not very often you see a running back playing a game with a brace like that. Do you think he's going to play this week?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
It's good for him to just get out there, with the team and, get a little work in. But I highly doubt it because the brace I saw him wearing, you ain't going to be able to cut that much with that.
Not at all.
full speed ahead. And, of course, having having MCL strain and tear or whatever it is, it's really kind of what it is. It takes time, but that's your cutting. That is your cutting. And that sucker is painful. So you can try to calm it down and stuff like that. I mean, it's usually, like I said, it's usually like a 4 to 6 week kind of injury, depending on how bad of a grade of a injury it is. So.
Yeah, with Buckner, not what you were.
No, I'll just say I seen that brace. I like, heck no, shoot.
Yeah, a lot of people were saying like, "Oh man, Pacheco's going to play," and I saw the video. I'm like, that guy, he's not playing with that thing. If that's, but you're right. It's good to see him back out there. And then Worthy tweaked his ankle during walkthrough today. Obviously, he's having ongoing issues with that ankle. that he's had problems with. Is that a big red flag that he tweaked it during a walkthrough? Or, I mean, there's also the guy who went on an airplane and he came off the plane with the swollen ankle like a couple weeks ago. So, like, I mean, what do you think the chances of him playing this week? I mean, because he didn't practice. He went to the walkthrough that hurt his ankle and then did not practice in the afternoon.
No, I think it looks good. I think he'll be fine. And sometimes you just got to make it calm down a little bit. It's not like you got to get into shape. He knows the offense. If he's able to get out there on Friday, do some things, then he'll be fine. So probably today was just a precautionary day. If he tweaked it a little bit, it's like, okay, fine, just chill out. We don't need for you to do anything. We just tell about the little tweak. Maybe tomorrow, you kind of see where you are with everything, and then Friday we'll see how it goes. But we'll be fine. I think we'll be fine. Everybody's been talking about Tyquan Thornton. Tyquan Thornton could provide some of those things, and not only him, but Hollywood Brown. We got receivers, we got guys, so we should be all right with that.
No, definitely the depth in that wide receiver room is fantastic. Okay.
Common denominators in particular on some of the deep passes that you haven't connected on?
Yeah, I'm just not making the throws. Is pretty much the biggest thing. Guys are getting open and giving me chances to make the plays down the field. I give them chances to make plays. And I mean, if you look at the one to Tyquan later in the game, it wasn't necessarily the best thrown ball, but it gave him a chance. And I think that's something that I can learn from with guys like Xavier's early, is that it might not be the perfect pass that's going to be a touchdown and catch like that, but if I can throw the ball and just give him a chance to make a play, he'll make the play on it, and then he can make the play and score a touchdown from there. So being better there and giving guys chances usually works out.
That play in particular, the Xavier one, are you seeing the same angle that he's running? Is he running where you fully anticipate him to go, or is that a little bit of just getting more and more on the same page?
Yeah, I mean, the angle stuff is one thing. I think what I've learned from just playing for a while now is that those deep passes, like I said, those deep passes don't have to be perfect. I think we always want to make the perfect throw, but if he wins like that, you can flatten his angle. You could throw the ball with more air underneath it, and then he can adjust. And that's why he is the player that he is. And so why not give him that opportunity and try to throw the ball perfectly down the field? And it looks awesome when it happens, but then obviously there's more misses than there is completions. And so if you look at the best deep ball throwers in the league and in the history of the NFL, they weren't always just these perfectly thrown balls, but they were giving guys chances, and they were going out there and making plays.
So, JD, what are your thoughts on what Pat had to say there about the deep ball?
What I heard is, let me give him a chance. Now, when Pat is letting go for the home run ball, he's thinking in his mind, Xavier's Worthy's catching this in stride, and it's going to look pretty. That's what he's looking for. And he's saying, well, okay, maybe I got to take a little bit off of it and just give him a chance to catch the football. If the defender catches up to him, then fine. We'll take, the 60-yard throw as opposed to the one that's going to look pretty. And so that's what I heard. And Pat he's the type of leader that he's going to put everything on his shoulders. He ain't going to throw nobody under the bus. That's his character. And so, yeah, somebody said it starts with Pat. Pat said it starts with me. So if it's not one of those where I'm airing it out, which he believes he's not going to throw one, he said, looking pretty. It looked pretty. We didn't let this sucker go. It looked pretty in there. And he's believing Xavier Worthy's full speed on this thing. It's going to look, like one of the beautiful deep balls that he's willing to throw. The same one he threw in the Super Bowl to Xavier Worthy, same one Xavier Worthy called against the Chargers. He knows what those deep balls to Xavier Worthy looks like when he's wide open, catching it. And so Pat is like, that was the opportunity. I thought that was going to be it. Hey, shoot. He's like, okay, so what I'll do is I'll take a little bit off, throw it to him. Defender can get on him, then let him just score after that. Okay? Let him try to get around the defender after that one. Same thing in Tyquan. Tyquan throw that one. He said, man, it wasn't the perfect ball, the prettiest ball. Tyquan just made a good play on it. I watched the play today, and I'm sitting there thinking, why did Pat throw this ball?
Right.
I'll be honest with you. I'm like, geez. Okay, but Tyquan pulls up and catches it. And the reality is this, Marcus. When you come out of your break, okay, catching the deep ball as a receiver, okay, and I coached wide receivers 2 years in college, okay, all right. I would say when you haul tail to get a deep ball, it's always easier, just like in baseball, it's always easier to come back to the ball. It's always easier to pull up as opposed to trying to speed up at the end. You learn that. You know it for a long time. Heard it time and time again. It's always easier to pull up as opposed to trying to speed up toward the end to try to go get it. So when you watch the guys in the outfield, okay, they're looking at a ball when it takes off, something take off, open up, right? And then they know they gauge it, catch a flight, they come up, and they're already in their throwing motion. Same thing in football. When you looking, you come out of the break and you are digging, you are wide open, right? And you catch it a little bit later. It's timing in this. It's timing in these deep balls. And so sometimes Pat is saying, look, if I just kind of throw it up, Tyreek was able to make adjustments at the end. He'll throw it up. Tyreek can run around you and make a jump over you. Like you know what I'm saying? He just had that ability.
Do something else.
Do something else. It was like unbelievable, right? Because he just throw it up and Tyreek would just make an adjustment. So he's expecting the same thing from these guys, right? And when I showed the film, there is a little pull-up. Pat is throwing to a spot. Pat is like, hey, I could throw it here, make it a little bit easier for the guys to go get it. Shoot. Then if they want to make a more contested ball for that, fine. Pat was like, I'm laying this thing out there so it can be pretty. He's catching this thing in stride. It looks beautiful. It's going to be probably one of the best deep balls that we've seen this year. A couple of them. We hit those in the games. Then we know, and teams know, we can do this every single trip. But we miss it. And so he said, yeah, I maybe need to take a little bit off. I know Xavier's fast. But if I need to take a little bit off, now, okay, I'll do that. So, man, that's what I heard. And I hear Pat navigating what he's saying to make it like, sure, I could do that.
Right.
You know, we talk about it. So if he could say it, a little bit could be on me, right? Because I'm expecting him to come out this digging. You know, when I'm expecting, when you're the deep ball guy, you get over to up, on top of your defender, then you track the ball, but you got to track the ball like almost full speed. You can't slow down. And I would always say, and I always see the wide receiver coaches and 1-2, when you turn around like this, you slow down. It's natural. It's what the body naturally does. So we used to talk about it all the time. This is constant coaching that I would hear all the time. Constant coaching from offensive coordinator, Al Saunders, from Charlie Joyner, who was with him. So Al was out there with Dan Fouts and all those guys for, Air Coryell. They talking about letting it fly. That's why Air Coryell, yes. Kellen Winslow and those guys, let it go. Give you guys a shot. When he's talking about throwing the ball to Isaac Bruce and Torrey Holt, let it fly. That's what you do. That's hey man, we're gonna open the door up. That's what we're gonna do. And Pat's like, yeah, I ain't got no problem with that. If I need to take a little bit off, we could talk about it, getting these guys right. Sure, let's just make the play, and then we'll move forward from it. But he expected it. He expected the guys to make the plays, and I'm sure they expected it too, man. Time's a little off. It's things you got to work on. It's timing.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people think that Worley's playing with her ankle and that's affecting his speed potentially. But I mean, on that play, I mean he burned that dude. I mean he was open.
Yeah, he was. And what I said is, you know, and this is me as a coach, I would ask my guys, man, hey, you run at corner down even more. Give him a little bit more to the outside, a hard stick, and now open up you out of here, right? And then catch the flight of the ball. But when you hit that stick, you hit that angle, you are digging. Now you catch the ball on the flight in the air, right? And that should be easy money. That's pay dirt at that point. But maybe a little weave, and then coming out of it, he's like tracking the ball like he should, right? And you just kind of naturally slow down, but then he's trying to catch up, and it's like, dang God. Just, deep balls, man, sometimes you ain't going to get them.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like most of our deep balls have been underthrown, right? The Hollywood bomb in the Bills game, the Chargers one, but that was also a broken play where he heaved it up to him. He was just back there sitting by himself. The one against the Ravens where he connected with Worthy on, that was more. I think Worthy had a layout for that one. Yeah. That wasn't an underthrow. That was just that was this close to not being catch there, but he had to lay out for it. Tyquan's bomb in the Giants game, that was also that was kind of an underthrow-ish. The Tyquan bomb in the Eagles game, that was that seemed like more. That was more on target there. That was more in stride, wasn't it?
You said the Eagles game?
The bomb he threw in the Eagles game. I feel like that one was on stride. The one that got broken up, that was the one that was more. I think that was more the underthrow. But I feel like the one he caught for the bomb was more in stride.
Yeah, and this is what you want to catch him in stride. I'll tell you what I did. Matter of fact, y'all go check it out. I went on YouTube last night, and I was watching deep ball throws from last year. Very interesting when you watch it.
Well, you see it. Do you see a change in mechanics?
Well, I'm just talking about like through the entire NFL, like all teams.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And I tell you who had the connection. What it looked like was I don't know, was that sucker down there in New Orleans, car throwing to Shaheed.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.